Hello, Divine Sunshiners. This is Divine Sunshine coming to you for your weekly update. Last time I think I talked to you all, the Divine Masculine was kind of going through some things of in and out of communication. The Divine Feminine was working on trying to find out what new direction she wanted to go into and projects. It was saying get rid of the toxicity in someone's life. And then I was talking about also what ways to get into union. I just want to start off. This weekend is my birthday weekend. My birthday is actually Sunday, April 7th. Yes, I am an Aries. I think you heard me pretty much talk about that even on the channel. And so I will be providing a link down below if you would like to bless me with a love offering. This is going on now. We've been a year since January 31st. This channel has been in existence. Small amount of viewers and subscribers, but that's great because I've seen when I watch other channels that have all these big subscribers, they were like, oh my God, all this drama, all this negativity coming at them. And so I also want to draw attention, just like I had told you all, to with our readers or your guides or whoever that you have that you're watching with these channels. Please, it's like this is the Divine Masculine has stated that, you know, keep in mind that this is a lot of work. A lot of us is getting hit pretty much hard with these energies. Pretty much, and that, you know, whenever you think about the readers, some of them, you know, they fall off or they go on hiatus, or you wonder what's going on, you know, just pray for them, because probably at that time they're going through a little something, either health challenge or mental or something on the job or something like that. And so when they're, you know, missing or whatever, and you say, well, what happened to this reader? You know, I haven't heard from them in a while. Just send them love, you know, at that time, because it's much needed, and we can feel it. Just like when I'm talking to you guys, even though I'm videoing and you're not in front of me, but then I can feel also, you know, your all's energy as I'm doing my tapings and my readings. So just a little tidbit, just to keep those things in mind. Right now with the feminine, you know, a lot of us are still kind of just practicing detachment. You know, pretty much that's what's going on. If I feel like in my own, the Divine Masculine is still kind of going through some struggles or some things. I believe that he's still kind of really down for the cause of what's going on with him as far as being into union, but it's just really right now it's just kind of unravel some things. I know we got the new moon in Aries, yay, this happening this weekend, and so that's another thing to kind of really to look forward to and changing, you know, this newness and bringing out things. Definitely we're really looking at trying to really find out what is our purpose. Are we really settling in and finding what's our direction career-wise? Definitely with this Aries moon coming in, I believe that's one of action, and really causing for us to really say, okay, you know, I want this new change to happen. I want this new change to come about. How do I go? What's the direction? And for us to get clarity on that. All right, so with that, I'm going back to my little old one. I did the last time I did Journey of Love. Clear. So let's look and see what is objectives for this coming week. Oh, that's a lot. Ooh, you got a lot there. Ooh. Let's get it down to just either 2 or 3. Did I say clear? Clear. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we got things of our objectives, our intentions in order into union. 3 major things are things that we got to keep in mind. Love, let go, and serve. When we're thinking about love, we need to think about how do you show love to others. Then we got to think about also in getting into union, we need to think about overall things, which is who are your heroes? How do we serve others, in what kind of capacity? How do we go about doing that? Yeah, how do we go about doing that? So it's really, to me, like it's saying, follow the path of some of the people that we look at as our role models, our heroes. So you can look at your ascension masters if you want to, some of the your guides, some of the angels, those things. Look and see how do they serve others, and then that will help to kind of give you a pathway. Because you know, just like ascension masters, I know I've been told, I think Mother Mary will be a good one, which helps with forgiveness. So kind of look at some of these ascension masters, and also think about these angels also as well. And you can look into your ancestors too, because you might find out there are some ancestors that you pretty much are kind of aligned with, parallel with, as far as how you're living and how you're doing things with. So those to me will be your heroes, and those are the ones that will help you know how do you serve humanity, especially with, I'm saying, with us trying to find out what's our purpose, what's our mission. Looking at our careers, really seeing, is it really serving what we're doing right now? Is it really helping others? You know, is that really where we're supposed to be at, or should we be looking at new careers or things of that nature? And then also just looking at and seeing how we're benefiting our feminine and our masculine partners as well. How do we kind of benefit them on this journey? And so let go. Where have you found peace? So those are the things that also, like peace. So my thing would be also with this newness, you know, think about some things that will really find peace on this journey, you know, while you're trying to find something new, especially with this moon bringing in. So like I say, if it's a career change, you're thinking about you going into this new career brings you peace rather than you staying where you are. You being on the journey right now into ascension, you know, what things brings you peace with your partnership, with your divine feminine or your divine masculine. And this really, to me, the forefront is just peace overall. Just how you interact with the world, how you interact with others. Especially when they say love. How do you show, I didn't talk about that, love. How do you show love to others? Think about some ways in which I seen on Facebook they were talking about, someone was like, it was a beautiful thing about talking about they were loved, and how the process of love, how they learned how to love over the years, and that, you know, it's almost like the way they show love, that they found out that, you know, it seemed like over the years they was finding out about themselves that they thought that is love is being able to show it and do it with others. But when it came down to it, they found out that, you know, just them being love is enough. And that's really where love is, when you're showing to other people. If you are love, it doesn't matter if the other person is showing love or not. Because you are love. You know, you're not looking for this other person to validate who you are, because you are love. So that was a very poignant thing. And that's the same thing, how do you show love to others? When you hear a lot of people say that, you know, well, when you take care of yourself, especially if you're a person who take care of your family, if you're the person who's, you know, like single mother, or, you know, everybody, even though you're married or whatever, you know, everybody's still looking to you to be a source of, you know, strength for everything, just like me when we take care of two elderly parents. You know, first thing how I show love to them is really making sure I'm taking care of myself, you know, making sure that my needs are done, make sure I take breaks when I need to, because if I don't do those things, I'm no earthly good to them in return. And so that's some kind of way, you know, also self-love is reflecting out love to others as well. And then also thinking about this also, how do you express it to others outside of yourself? Okay. Let's go on and see. Excuse me. Kind of almost want to go back to the old-fashioned method. Let's see what's happening with love. Clear. Let's start right there when we talk about showing love to others. For the divine feminine and for the divine masculine. Right, so how are you doing as far as love into union? Here, come. Okay, so for the divine feminine, and let me get some clarifiers. Clear. Thank you. Some heat. Okay, so now when we're talking about love, love was the topic again. How do you show love to others? And as far as us getting into union, because remember now my focus now is about, well, how do we get into union? Union with self first, and then union with outside expression with your divine masculine and your divine feminine. So right now with the divine feminine, right now when she's thinking about love and union, the major factor here is religious factors. Your love life is influenced by religious upbringing and spiritual path. Right now, I see that's clarified by regeneration. And what I'm picking up with the divine feminine is right now she's going through some resurgence of things, of how she's looking at things spiritually and how she's being affected by them, even religion, like religious beliefs, religious factors of other things, religious factors about things that she thinks about religiously, or things that's been philosophies and ways of life and principles and lessons of life that she's even went through and taught, that they have taught her. And she's really going through regeneration of becoming a newness. It's like taking those things and finding out, how can I make it anew? And so right now, the feminine is going through that process in which she's really finding ways to kind of bring those things that had been dead and regenerate those things into something new, especially when you talk about spirituality. I will believe that really right now the divine feminine is kind of going through a point where she's really kind of picking apart some things and really kind of saying, kind of like shift to them and through them, and really saying, okay, does this work? Should this stay? Should I get rid of this belief? How does that help me into this new person, a new creature that I want to become into? I think about Elizabeth Lund. She's doing a lot of newness to her channel from House of Idems. You hear me talk about her very often. And where she's like revamping it, renaming her Facebook name and revamping the thought about what it is to be a twin flame. And you know, really she's gotten to the point that she says she's not that twin flame at all. And I have too. I've came to that point that I have now, through my sabbatical of me being off, I'm not harping on that twin flame thing again, because I'm trying to really get to the point where I'm really seeing myself being reflected in my divine masculine or divine feminine, whichever way he expresses himself through energy, because a lot of times I could tell that we both flip-flop between energies, just like the affinity sign, like I said before. Sometimes I'm in my masculine and he's in his feminine, and he's in his feminine and I'm in my masculine. So I'm really trying to balance between the two and trying to really get a hold of those things. And so that's the same thing, just like what she was saying about the twin flames, that, you know, it's slowly those things and that concept is dying, because you should really be coming to a point, just like one of my subscribers had said, where that person, I don't even like counterpart, because sometimes counterpart to me symbolize you going against. And looking at your ascension partner, that's what I like now, is that, you know, your ascension partner is really just a reflection of you, of what's going on and what things you need to work on, and they're helping you out. And as well, so it's looking at other people, you know. Sometimes I get to the point I say, you know what, I don't really want my ascension partner to teach me the lesson, because right now I'm trying to heal from that. You need to kind of bring me lessons from other people, other ways, like my best friend, or when I interact on the job, or even the children, because I'm a teacher in the classroom. You know, right now I say, you know, I don't want him to be the bad guy that's teaching me karma right now. I just need for him to just kind of be slow and just be steady right now, and just, I don't need no shake-ups, no different things being shown through him to say, well, I'll be damned, I thought we was on our way, and then here we pumping the brakes and stopping. Right now, for my growth, I'm saying I don't need that coming from him. I just need really him to kind of stay steady and to be grounded, you know. And then I say, let me learn from others the things that I need to grow and know. That again, looking at other people, seeing their extension of me. Why is this person in my life? You know, I don't like what they reflected back to me. Okay, that's something that tells me I got to work on that. So right now, I'm at the point that everybody is a reflection. That's the same thing, just like I was talking about religious and factors. Just the spiritual, you know, we're almost there into our divinity, but there's some other things that we've got to deal with, and that we've got to really become honest with ourselves and say, you know what, I can tell already what's stopping me from union is this, and this. And these are the things, not even union with him, but with union with, even if it's not him or whoever it is that come in and saying, these, if I would get into a relationship, these are going to be stumbling blocks right then and there. I could tell just if I'm honest with myself. And that same thing you all can do. Just get honest with yourself, Divine Feminine, and say, you know, honestly, if I was dating myself, these are the things that's got to be fixed. Because even if Prince Charming or my essential partner comes through the door, that's going to be an issue right there. Because if I still have problems with these negative thinking, and it's constantly, and I'm addicted to thinking negative thoughts all of the time, that it doesn't matter who comes into play. You know, like my mom always say, you know, to me, life is almost like a stage. She say it don't matter. It could be the same character, but different actors come into play. You know, probably you get somebody else to come in and play the part and be another essential partner for you. And if you still playing the part, and you still got them issues, it don't matter whoever comes in on that stage to play the part as your significant other, it's still gonna play out with them, you know. So right now, that's in some ways, that is why, it's not some ways, that is why your essential partner, your Divine Feminine, or your Divine Masculine is there to show you that, hey, you got to work on these things. I don't care how perfect and, you know, you think you the bag of chips and all that, but you still got some stuff that you got to work on. Okay, so that is something that, you know, we got to remember, that we got to find ways to regenerate. You know, let the things die that don't serve us anymore, and then find a newness within us to create a new creature. Now with the Divine Masculine, when we look at him as far as matters of the heart, and we're talking into union, attraction, you attract romantic love by enjoying this moment. The Divine Masculine is really working on things of opening up his heart chakra, and the heart, and the heart chakra, right, and the upper heart, because I seen pink being represented here. He's learning how to take everything in, you know, just like what I do with the kids. I do meditations with the kids, and I tell them, pick up the flower, smell the flower, sniff, take a big sniff, take it all in. So right now he's learning is attracting things in his life, not even just in a romantic way, but just having a love of life, and just kind of saying, okay, let me bring this in. Also, I believe I seen on the channel, I was talking about sacral chakra, and how we've got to kind of work on that, opening up that, because that helps us with the attraction of, you know, how we interact with others, where our happiness lies, how we open to new experiences and things like that, is from the sacral. And you know, that got me to kind of thinking, one of them was saying, she was saying, I think it's called Awakened Twin. She was saying, you know, if you want to heal that, you know, surround yourself with things orange, eat a lot of orange things, you know, picture yourself do a lot of exercises, opening up that chakra for blockage, because a lot of us, that's our childhood wounds are pretty much stored there, and we kind of got to work with that, and I'm in agreement with that. So the Divine Masculine is working with that. You know, right now we've seen before, they were saying that the heart chakra and the sacral and the solar plex have now moved up into that area now, and they're all working together. And that is true. Now when I experience things, now I try to say, let's experience this from the sacral, and then filter out into the heart chakra as well. A lot of times, like I said, with that, this is clarified by the cards. Breathe. Like I said, breathe in. Now I'm doing, now that I'm breathing in experiences now through my sacral, letting it experience, let it open and expand to really be able to experience happiness, because a lot of times that would be an issue with me. You know, I could do it for so much and then I wouldn't be able to savor the moment of happiness. And then she's saying, like, if you're always tired a lot of times, you know, that's all ruled by the sacral, you know, and so I'm working on that. So now, because of this attraction, now he's able to breathe in. So divine masculine, I say all that back to you again, is that while we're opening up these other chakras, we're able to breathe in life a little differently. You know, it's not so congested like that music is commercial, like Mucinex. You know, you got to take it to open up your lungs, and you got that little glob of mucus always following you around, where these things are that's not really going right. There's these blockages that are happening with you. You're finding things in the way you're looking at your perspective of life more newer, and you're able to breathe much freer and much lighter. Okay. One thing of why this is bringing on this attraction now is because the tribe card. The tribe card always is a card that always helps you to know that, guess what? You're much bigger than what you have programmed yourself to be. And so, you know, right now you're at that point that now with you being more attracted to things, you're finding yourself more to the point where you're saying, okay, I'm opening up to the world. I'm opening up to the things of thought of love, especially with my heart chakra, doing all this activity and opening up. And now really my former self, which I thought was small, is really giving way to my real divine self, which is be the logic, like you're bigger than, like say, somebody bigger than you and I. So that's right. So God, who's bigger than you? God is. So really the divine is really housed within you, or the God that's within you. Now your former self is telling you, you know what? It's safe to come out now. It's safe to really express who you are. It's safe to express this romantic side of you, this person that you always envision yourself being in a relationship with. This is what now you're saying now. That's why you're having this attraction, which is bringing out all this stuff. The tribe card, bringing you out of the small place. So you playing yourself small on things and saying, okay, well, maybe I take more risk and do that. Also, what's bringing this out here is that you have an unfinished symphony. You know, some things that's unfinished with you in divine feminine, and within yourself, your emotions, so as your divine feminine in the physical. And so you really get to this point that, like they're saying, your romantic love, enjoying the moment fully. You're saying, okay, now let me start thinking about, you know, really finding ways in which I can enjoy right where I am. Why? Because in some ways that's going to bring, you know, heighten up your vibration. That's also going to help to attract in your divine, your essential partner, your divine feminine as well. And so, you know, this attraction of, so you're starting to really, and I'm picturing also, they bring it to me, is you're starting to attract what your desires and your wants to happen by really having this raised, these raised vibrations at this moment. So, you know, to help you to finish up this symphony, because you feel it and you know it innately, it's time to finish this symphony. Okay? Whether it's within yourself and becoming whole with yourself, becoming union with yourself, or if it's union on the outside. Also, with the divine masculine, you're saying getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. Well, that carries on and piggyback on the tribe card, where now your former self is now talking to yourself now and saying, listen here, you're much larger, or your inner child is talking to you now, to your adult self, and say, you know what, you're much larger, you are destined for greatness, you're much bigger than this situation that's going on now. And so now this is helping to deepen the bonds within yourself, to get to know your feminine side, which is your emotional side, as well so as your masculine side, which is your analytical side, which is also bringing in on the outward, you wanting and desiring to be more getting to know your divine feminine more. You know, beforehand, you know, you didn't know what it was. You know, I always think about, I've seen videos they're saying about the divine masculine. Used to look at the divine feminine like, okay, she practices voodoo. She can put stuff on me. I don't know what she is. This witchcraft, this spell she got on me. I don't really want to know about it. She talk crazy, talk all this spirituality. Woo, woo, woo. So you were looking at her as like she was the enemy of the state. Okay, now you're looking at the divine feminine a little bit more different, and you're saying, you know what, I welcome her energy, I welcome her difference, I welcome her her challenging me about certain things. And so now it's a different viewpoint that you're looking at the divine feminine. And so now you're trying to really bring in that between worlds. You're coming from this grayness when you was like, okay, everything's just black and white. You know, the divine feminine is this and she's this, and it ain't no in between. It ain't no gray area. She's just black and white. And some of you all saying, well, it was kind of gray, it's kind of fuzzy. I didn't really know what was going on with the divine feminine. I was a little confused. And so now, I was a little confused. And so now, with what's going on, I kind of, now it's coming in color. Everything's clear. It's almost, you know, like we used to have those paints. I remember, man, on Channel 11, remember he used to paint by numbers. If you all was on WTTW, and my mom used to watch him all the time, and he was like, okay, now we're going to use this. We're going to use color brown, the white. 1 is for brown, 2 is for, you know, yellow, 3 is for, so now with life and you getting attraction and you're looking at life a little different, you're able to paint by numbers. It's kind of sequential. You're looking at all the sequences and the numbers and the triggers out there that's helping you to counter the sequence of numbers and saying, okay, 111, 222, those things. And those are kind of helping you bring light into your world too. So you're attracting that too. So it's helping you to bring you out of the gray areas into light, because it's also just like programming your brain. You're getting these downloads for looking at this whole thing, newness, how to get to know yourself in a different way with these downloads, knowing what you're capable of, just like with the tribe card saying, I'm bigger than what I'm demonstrating out here. I really am divine. And so now it's kind of bringing you from one side to the other. Okay. You're becoming more flexible with things. You know, before you was very stern about how things are supposed to go in the world. You weren't really too open into the spirituality about things. You just really was into the physical world. Now, you know, somebody could bring it to you, rather it's your divine feminine or somebody else. And you're pretty much kind of open to it. You know, some of them, you know, I ain't been in all the way, but some of them you're like, okay, I can have an open ear, you know, to some of these things. I'm a little bit more receptive to it, and you're becoming more flexible with life. You know, things have learned you at this point now as you're trying to you're opening up into the idea of you being the divine masculine. You're becoming more flexible with things, the way of life, how you're doing things. You know, you're learning how to balance things, but then also knowing that, you know what, sometimes you got to bend. You know, that's just like with buildings. Buildings also have tall buildings, I remember hearing this, have points within them that even with strong winds, they have things in it that they'll be able to sway just a little bit, you know. Not a lot, but, you know, you can't be too much against the wind. Sometimes even tall buildings have to find ways that they have to be able to sway with it and come back. Okay, so that's the same thing. Just like you're a tall building, you still have to be able to bend towards the wind, because sometimes you can create more balance by not doing that. Okay, next thing also, let me put this up, excuse me, I'm charging up my phone. Okay, so also you're learning about the why to some things too. Okay, so getting to know each other, which means to me would be also getting to know both sides of you, the masculine and the feminine side, your emotions and your analytical. Some things are being revealed to you. Things also revealed to you in the physical. If your communications with your divine feminine, you're kind of looking at her and getting some answers about, oh, okay, now I see why you act that way in the beginning. Oh, okay, well, see, now I see why I had to go through that situation, or the karmic situation, you know, person, place, a thing. You know, now I'm not looking at it as the enemy of the state anymore. It's like, okay, now I see why those things are happening. So you're understanding the why and the reasons by why things are happening. It's not no more of being the victim role of things. Divine Masculine is like, you know what, it came here to teach me what I always say, karmic lessons come here to teach you the lesson, to bless you, and to keep on rolling. Just keep on going on. You know, get the lesson and get the blessing and keep on moving, okay? So now you're getting to the point of that, okay? And I see light there. So you're getting some enlightenment as well with that, okay? Then also you're getting with that, again, you're getting this sense of a deeper knowing by you being able to say, let me sit and put all of my biases, thank you for bringing that to me, to the side and say, let me just look at it as just the pure facts of it. And it's helping you get a new on. You're learning how to trust your intuition, your awareness more. You're becoming wiser. And, you know, it's just bringing on these this a new beginning. It's removing a lot of the illusions that has came upon out of the way. And you're really able to see the light behind what's all this figuratively, what's all this meaning that's going on behind it. Okay, and the round and round going on, you know, because sometimes it's process. Sometimes you got to do a 360. You got to go all the way around the block to come right back at where you started from to really clearly get an understanding to your foundation of who you are. You know, you have to go through all these things. I mean, sometimes you might find out I'm right back where I am, but guess what? You're still not the same person, you know. And so again, with the round and round also, brings upon to be, it's like sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. This reminds me of the Wheel of Fortune thing. But as these things are going around, you're still at the center of it all, and you still kind of really you got to become anchored, and you're still really truly learning about yourself in the process as you're going through these cycles. So to me, when I looked, this almost looked like the number 9, and it's funny it has 2 and a 5 there. 2 is unity, 5 means change, and together it makes 7, which is spiritual completion. So all of these lessons and these cycles, to me, this is what it looks like that you have to go through, helps to bring upon a part of a spiritual completion on your part, Divine Masculine. Okay. Let's look. We kind of look like we on to something. So let me look at, last time I forgot to do was surrender. So what do you have to surrender? Clear. In order, this is life changes. Oh, I'm sorry. Life changes. Okay, so what life changes right now in order for you you're going to go through this week in order for union? Okay, Divine Feminine. And Divine Masculine. Okay, so we have for the Divine Feminine, we have get some rest. That makes sense because right now, if you're really trying to regenerate a lot of things, your thoughts, your process, you're doing a lot of mental work, a lot of mental work, a lot of physical work, body work, emotional body work, spiritual body work, you know, all those kind of things you're working on. And so, yes, during this week, find some rest as well as you're going through this transformation. It's funny that you have this. So, of course, when you're doing this rest, you really are true, to me, focusing, and I see a lot of the color orange here. So, again, that's sacral. Do a lot of sacral work, Divine Feminines. And I also see the solar plex, the yellow, being represented there. And this looks kind of reddish to me. So again, that's get rooted and grounded in what you're doing, and a lot of heart chakra being there represented. So those are the areas that I would say really do the work in, especially when you're trying to get these spiritual factors that might be acting as a blockade to that. Look at spiritual as far as in your chakras. How can you heal those things, and how can you regenerate those things as well? Okay, and for the Divine Masculine, we have gracefully aging. To me, this represents right now, you're going through maturity. To me, as far as, especially when they talk about cycles, you're maturing. Same thing with you. I see you working with your sacral. You got the same really colors. You don't have too much heart chakra, but it was represented earlier. So the spirit said, I don't need to show that again. But you too have to work with this week. I say both of us have to work with the sacral, the solar plex, the root chakra, and the heart those are the ones that we really majorly have got to work with. I was finding out I wore orange today because I say I wanted to wear that. And so that tells you right then, definitely we've got to work on those areas, gracefully aging. So as you're going through these cycles and these stages that you're going through it, you know, just go through it with gracefully. Take God's grace with you as you're going through this process, divine masculine. Okay, so now let's look at what is your divinity. Clear. As far as getting to unity, divine feminine, vulnerability. Okay, so divine feminine, yours came out with codependency. Just make sure that also in your divinity that you are really releasing that thing of being codependent. I want to say really codependent on the idea. Some of us are still in the twin flame thought process of how it's supposed to be and the principles of things, or really having to have this other person, rather you twin or not, that you like, I just got to have this other, I got to have a partner, I got to have somebody in life, or just dependent on, if you look at yourself inwardly, will be as the divine feminine. You're really dependent on your mind to explain things to you that's going on in the physical. And to me, when I see this, it's like, you know, it's got to be equal balance, but you can't really put more stock into your thought than you are in your heart. I seen also in a video they were saying that we got to really pay close attention to what's going on in our heart, like really lead with our heart instead of just the mind. And so when I see this codependency, is just watch which way you lean more towards, you know. Just make sure it's an even balance between the two of it, because it is a marriage of a union of two things. But again, like I said, you know, like some people, you know, they get married, and you know, after they get married, you know, her mom, I always think about her talking about when she got married to my dad, you know, everything was always his name, you know. I just call him somebody. Dan says, and Dan said you shouldn't do that. And Dan, when I talked to him, he said this and that. And Dan said that. And so, you know, after a while, he's like, do you think for yourself, you know, because y'all always saying what Dan said, you know. So, you know, that's something that, you know, you got to kind of remind yourself also in your mind. You take it spiritually. My mind says, my mind thought this, my mind wants to do this. And, you know, after a while you have to accept, okay, so what does the heart say? What did your emotional self say to what you're doing? You know, does it have any say so? Or is it always what, you know, your mind says? My mind says this. My mind says, okie dokie. Houston, we got a problem here, you know. So you got to really kind of think about that, you know. Mind sometimes linked to the ego, which is, you got to watch that kind of marriage going on in dynamic. Ego is good, but you know, it can also kind of steer you off into the wrong direction as well. Okay, so those are some things that you got to kind of watch and look out for. That, you know, what, to me, this card would be saying, what are you married to? You know, what thoughts are you married to, divine feminine? You know, and watch that. Are you really highly dependent? Like, are you codependent on the negative thoughts? You know, codependency could be negativity too, you know, things, you know, person, place, a thing. You know, what are you dependent upon? It's like, I can't, you know, food addictions, like codependency could also be addictions too. Thank you for bringing that to me. You know, you got to watch that too, you know, like always negative thoughts, always food. When I get sad, I got to go get me some dessert or something like that. Or, you know, it's like I got to drink, you know, some things. You got to kind of watch that, you know. It's like, okay, for social, you know, doing that. But if you, are you relying on every time you come home, you pour on you a big old Olivia Pope glass of wine with your popcorn every daggone day, you know, it's like I can't function without it, you know. Yeah, we got to kind of watch that, you know. And that when you got one of them glasses, I seen one time they had one glass almost big, like what said that Faith, that was big enough that you could pour a whole bottle of wine in that glass. Is that port? I don't know not too far, but it's that big old glass what I say, I can hear what it is. That's called when you got those big wine ones. It's real. That yeah. Then we got what's called a problem. You know, we on that bourbon or whatever like that. Any kind of things that you doing over and over and over again to help kind of numb you or meditate and medicate you from really dealing with reality and what you got to deal with. There's a problem. Okay, and so then for the divine masculine, we have Achilles, god of vulnerability. Right now, you know, it seems like to be you're kind of really bowing down, especially with this attraction. To me, when you start getting to that point like that, when you're opening up your heart and you're opening up to the elements and the environment and everything around that, there's a level of vulnerability that has to come with that, you know, to be able to see the world in a different way, in a different view, and then have either your former self or your inner child also come and say, you know, come on out from where you are. You're bigger than this. You're divine. That takes a level of vulnerability as well in order to come from that place and to really express yourself, and you know, from what that shell, what you used to being using as a security blanket and as a form of protection, and really come to the point, just like this picture said, no, I'm gonna lay my protection down. You know, this false facade, this false ego mask that I've been carrying around, and then I'm gonna actually just lay this down and say, here I am as a divine masculine. You know, I cry, you know, I love to hug, you know, I like watching ballet or whatever it is, that whatever goes against the masculine norm that the society put on, and you saying, no, I'm against all of that, here I am, this is how I am, okay? That is something that right now, divine masculine, especially when you get into union, you got to come in. If that means sometimes the vulnerability is, I can feel the saying that too, have that conversation with yourself, your emotions, making sure your emotions and your mind is together on one line as well. So it's having that conversation physically with your divine feminine as well, and really saying, okay, this is where I am, this is what I have done in the past, I want to work into union, yada, 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 you know, and just really be vulnerable. If you say, I don't want to say nothing, I just want to show up, be there, and just let her know this from my presence that I'm there. I know some of you all might put the deuces up, but I'm going to be vulnerable and throw myself into that mindset of saying, here I am. Because that's a level of vulnerability. You know what you've done, you know, divine masculine. I'm not always saying that our divine masculines, you all have done everything wrong and the divine feminist was the perfect little angel. No, we have contributed some things as well to where we are on this journey. And so again, it's a level of vulnerability to say, here I am, I know what I've done, I know my part, what I played, and you know, let's try to work from this point on forward. You know, it's a conversation that needs to be had. I mean, not just act like it's the elephant. You see a daggone elephant, and I see it in the back, and it's like, you ain't seen, you see that the elephant been standing here, you know, he too big for the room, and he really don't have no business being here, but you and I gonna talk like this elephant, this don't exist, that's behind me, that's got his trunk messing with my hair and everything like that, so we just gonna talk like it don't exist. No. It is something, and that is a vulnerable piece and a vulnerable place to put yourself in, divine masculines. However, it is something, a place in which needs to happen, and it is a place in which you need to also actually visit. Okay, that is that one. Let's see. What are the energies that we're going to, let me just ask to see, especially when we're going into this weekend, into the week. Clear. What are the energies for the week, for the weekend, for divine feminine? Yeah, the energies, that's fine for the week. And because I did from Friday to Friday. And what is the energies for the week for the divine masculine? Okay, so divine feminine, the energies for the week for you is, especially in union, page of 5, outgoing, creative, confident, mischievous, news of an exciting new endeavor Use your originality and ingenuity. I feel that right now while you're working this week is really working on, I told you about these projects. Again, going back to the beginning about your peace, looking towards some of your role models, looking at ascension masters, angels and guides, ancestors, to really kind of help you with this new thing that you're trying to set forth this week. I can feel that. So you're really putting forth the groundwork. Last week you was thinking about it, you was kind of tinkering and toying with it. This week I believe that you're going to actually lay some groundwork into this. So you got something new, exciting. Some of you might get some new good news coming in, and you're going to have to really find some real innovative, out of the box way of thinking of how you can deal with this. But please do remember, again, like the card said before, get you some rest and make sure that whatever you're doing, that you're not more into your emotional self and then less into your analytical. Remember, when you're doing something, saying, who's asking this question? Is it like my mom saying, is it Dan said and Dan said, or is it my mind said and my mind said, and you sitting there saying, okay, this is a marriage. So what does the heart say? Did the heart say have anything about what you deciding to do? So remember that when you're doing that, as far as like, and also the addictions, you know, am I doing this to keep my mind off of something? This is not healthy. I'm trading one vice for another. That's something you got to think of. The High Priestess, Archangel Haniel. Listen to your intuition. Have patience. Consider carefully what you want before acting. And that seems good with the energy, especially with you trying to do something new. I say you got some mischievous there. You got to kind of watch that. That's why I say again, pretend like it's a marriage. Just like this card here, between the two, and you all are dependent, not codependent. Codependent would mean is more than the other, and it's not an even balance to me. So when you're saying that again, check in and say, what does my mind say? What does my heart say on things? Your intuition, again, that helps. You got to be patient, and that's why I said for you to rest. That's why that card came up. You got to rest while you're doing these things and have patience. With yourself and with others, again, because remember they say, how do you show love with others? Because some of them might not see the vision. You know, they might be saying, honey child, why you thinking about change? Oh, that job is good. You know, I don't know why you thinking about you know, moving to another place, or you think about relocating. Chicago good, why you think about going to Atlanta? You know, and you said all these kind of different kind of things popping up. And so make sure you check in, like I said, about your angels, your heroes, help you to kind of really, to me, when this card really validates that you got to check in to a higher source, somebody outside of it, to make sure that you check it in, like called landmarks or lampposts, to kind of say, okay, am I heading in the right direction? With the Divine Masculine, for you, you have Queen of Fire. Confident, warm, intelligent, graceful. Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Assert your independence and creativity. This goes back again to the tribe card of you, of you stretching yourself and becoming much larger than what you are portraying yourself at the moment. Let the world embrace, become vulnerable, embrace the newness, take in, breathe in, you know, the newness that life is really. So, you know, it's helping you with that round and round these cycles, in these cycles that you have, so you can get you a deeper knowing, so you get the why, to get out of the kind of the, call it, into, from the gray into the technicolor again, that, so you can be able to see, oh my God, I forgot I used to use that all the time. Oh, I am? Oh, wow. No, it's one of them little flying thing bugs. Pleasantville. Okay, so yeah. So when you got that Pleasantville thing where everything's dark. So right now, to be, again, Pleasantville card. Been so loud, that used to be my catch thing. You know, you're looking at the world, everything is so gray and blah, and so now you got a way of everything is just now turning into color. It's a whole new world. The world has always been existed, but now you're coming with a new mindset. You know, it's just the same thing like in the Matrix with Neo. You know, it's like this stuff already the world is. You know, now look at it. When you take them pills, blue or red pill, then that's when the world started really changing and say, oh my God, things is not the way the hell I thought it was. Just like you talk about the cooking, and you're gonna be right as rain, and the bending of it, and it's your mind that bends the spoon. You know, and like, you know, she's like, you know, you trying to do it way, you got to go deeper into it, and how the world, and you messing with dimensions and whatever, and with matter and all that stuff. That's the same thing that you're doing right now, how you viewing the world. So again, stretch your wings, assert yourself and become independent, motivational, idealistic, ambitious, charismatic, focus, communicate with vision, and be a leader. That goes back to that spoon with the matrix again. How you bending your world, how you creating your world. Okay, now your former self or your inner child has now told you it's time for you to be big, it's time for you to be a leader. So now you need to go on ahead and take that on and not get a vision. So bend that spoon. Now, how you going to bend your world to create the person that you want it, to help you become the person that you want to be? Advice from someone creative. You too, going back to this, who are the heroes card? You too also, Divine Master, have got to go to higher things, people, role models, Ascension Masters, angels, ancestors, guides, someone outside yourself to help you to kind of motivate you and do those things. You know, I think about the one guy, God rest his soul, his spirit, that just passed, the rapper Nipsey Hussle, and one of his songs on there is Hustle and Motivate. I think about one, I think his name is it him or somebody else I watched? Well, it was on Facebook, and they was talking about how with these rappers, these ones that had made it big, is that they got a different mindset than all of them. It's like, you know, they eat, they sleep, everything was about getting that hustle, getting that money, chasing that paper, getting them Benjamins, everything. You know, you think about with Nipsey Hussle, how he had started off with him sitting doing mixtape tapes for $1,000, you know, whatever, and you know how it's getting. Who would have thought about that? It was like, yeah, you know, it's how you want it, you know. So that way, he was able to get his hustle and his groove, and then from that point on, he never forgot about his community, no matter about how he started off. Rough beginnings. All of us have had bad, rough beginnings, you know, as a gang member, those things. And then he said after a while, like, you know, this life ain't for me. I don't know too much about him. I honestly can say no. When coming up, I was not a Nipsey Hussle fan. Not until his death, I realized, you know, what the reason of his life purpose was for being here. I was like many other people that with his life, it hit me hard. So, you know, I believe in some ways, and I don't know if I'm quoted or not, that he was a light worker in his own way, because he believed in coming in, and still after his humbling, his beginnings, he went back and reached back for the community and tried to make it better for them, created stores and did things. It was going to do a documentary with Dr. Seba about how, you know, about health-wise, and nobody was thinking about doing that. However, like I said, with him, he has a song on there that's called Hustle and Motivate. And just like with you, Divine Masculine, you got to find a way to hustle and motivate yourself on this journey to say, you know, just keep the vision. Just like what they say about rappers. Rappers have a different, these ones that's coming up, especially from the hood or from real gritty and challenging backgrounds, if you want to put it that way. That's all they thought of, and that's like their mindset was like, you know, okay, how can I make it to get this $1 million? Because I want to be like Snoop Dogg or whoever they young, Dr. Dre, you know, all these ones that's out here, Eminem. I want to be like them, and you know, and they woke up every day. It was strategizing. How can I be that? And I thought about that, and I say that's right. We here on this journey of ascension have gotten to the point that, you know, we didn't fall in love with the concept of the twin flame thing, and we ain't forgot about the hustle and the motivate. How we got to really hustle to get what we want as far as us ascending to the next level. And we didn't kind of romanticized it a little bit, and we didn't forgot about really what's our purpose. We thought about this, we uniting and being with our counterpart or our ascension partner, but we forgot that the title of it is ascension partner, which means to ascend, to go to the next level. So what are we actually doing to go to the next level? Divine masculine. And so, like they say here, you got to hustle and motivate. You got to stay focused on that. So look up that song on there, because that's my favorite one. I even told my divine masculine, I said, out of that, you know, in the morning sometimes I play that. I said, oh Lord, I see why he was that, you know, mind all the explicit words that he's using on there. But if you listen to the intent of what he's rapping on there, you can see that it's like, you know, it's just like, you know, I'm doing everything, I'm struggling, but I'm still hustling and motivated to get up to the ascend to the next level. That's why I'm called this hustle and motivate to ascend to the next level. That's what we have to do.